The Arabic word intifada means rebellion or uprising. In the past couple of weeks, we have had on our streets here in Britain calls for intifada. Not calls for workers of the world unite, not calls for votes for women, nothing like that, but calls in a foreign language for an uprising in the cause of a foreign country. I'm Granniopteryx. Okay, so I'm going to play you videos. The first two will be showing the mostly Muslim response to events going on in the Middle East right now. And the other two, well, from different religions. Now, the most important thing to notice about these is not only in the first one, the treacherous call for an uprising against the British government to further the cause of, I don't know what, Qatar, Iran, whatever. But the way it is done, let's have a look at this. This is the first one.
We'll have an intifada. From London to Gaza. We'll have an intifada. We'll have an intifada. From London to Gaza. We'll have an intifada.
They're shouting, from London to Gaza, we'll have an intifada. They are calling for an uprising from, well, in Western Europe all the way over to the Middle East. Actually, Gaza's, amusingly, on the outside edge of Israel, so this actually doesn't include Israel. However, I don't think they really know what they're talking about a lot of the time, and that's a good example of quite how little they know about what they're saying. But they are calling for intifada throughout Europe. Also, interestingly, not in Dublin, which is, you know, further to the west. Now, what are you going? You're going to see it that way, right? Further to the west of London. So, no doubt they have decided that Dublin has already been subdued. However, let's get back to this. You notice the method they're using. It's called call and response. And the thing about call and response is there's no room for any sort of dissent. You hear the call, you make the response. That's it. There's no individuality about it. It's a mob reaction. A subsuming of the personality into the mob. The mob, which is like one person at this point, hears the call and makes the response without any further thought. Now let's have a look at this one.
On you! BBC! Shame on you! Boycott now! Boycott now! Boycott now!
Today, we are in Manchester Media.
They're chanting boycott now there, by the way, if you didn't catch that. And the next one is, of course, Free Palestine.
Boycott now! Boycott now! Boycott now! Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
Today, we are in Manchester.
Free Palestine. When I hear people shouting, free Palestine, I keep the words I hear in my head are, don't think too much. Don't think too much. But have you noticed how all of these, it's not just supporters for Hamas. It's also Just Stop Oil and those sorts of people. They have drums and they chant. There's no individuality about them. The drums keep them going. It's like it gives them the adrenaline surge. You'd think the Muslim cultures that are all over the world would be a little bit ashamed of the behaviour of Hamas, but the rest of the world has noted what would happen if the hordes of Islam ever got into their neck of the woods. I think maybe this has rather forced it on their attention. Now I'm going to play you a video which was made while Notre Dame was burning. So you got a lot of people out on the streets watching the awful situation, their Christian culture being burnt in front of them. I'm quite sure a lot of these people might have had at least a fleeting thought, zipping through the backs of their minds, that maybe this was arson, and maybe the arson was being committed by somebody of a different religion. I have something of the same thoughts myself, although for some reason the French government's being surprisingly quiet about it. However, these people are not. Are they chanting? Are they banging drums? They are watching their civilization in some way being attacked, and this is what they're doing. They're singing about Maria, the personification of peace, really, in the Christian religion. Peace and a love of God. Who could love God better than his own mother? Right, and then here we have a group of, I suppose, mostly Jews, but judging from the headgear, but a lot of Christian supporters as well, I believe. And they are in a square in Manchester after one of the most horrendous experiences any Jewish community could possibly have, I should think. And this is what they're doing. Again, you will notice an absence of drum banging and chanting. Now, you will notice, first of all, that they're flying the flags of Israel and the United Kingdom, and that the song they're singing contains the word shalom, which means peace, and the word amen. Very similar, in fact, to what those French people were singing in front of their immolated church. They were singing about Mary, and the last words, of course, of their song was the last word in the song was Amen, because it's a prayer. There's a huge amount of difference between these two groups of people. And I'd say that these two groups are reasonable people, civilized people, and, unprimitive people, sophisticated people. The other people are quite the opposite. And I'm Granniopteryx, interrupting myself to ask you to click the like button. Also to subscribe, and if you're on YouTube, to click the bell button. Both clicking like and subscribing help my channel a great deal, and I do appreciate that help. I am on other platforms. All the links are in the description if you want to take a look. Also links to donation sites. I'm always very grateful for donations, of course, but clicking like is really the most active thing you can do for my channel. Whether the second lot are going to prevail over the first lot with their mob mentality, it's not a given. And I'm quite sure that the second lot are not the sort of people to wield knives and cause mayhem. And that might be to their disadvantage. I'm not calling for mayhem, by the way, because I'm with them. But unless somebody wakes up, we're in for a tough time over the next couple of 100 years. Okay, till next time. Why not treat yourself or a favoured relative or friend to these magnificent examples of merch? The mugs and t-shirts come in the granniopteryx design or Granbo with a firearm or the more deadly knitting needles. Go to www.granniopteryx.com and whatever platform you're watching this on, please click like, subscribe and share.